What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it. And yes, I am officially live after forever. I can't even remember the last time I went live with you guys. I'm sorry about that, apologetic about that. But better late than never, I guess. Wanted to hop in here and talk, obviously, Bears football with you guys, answer questions. It's just been too long. It's been way too long, so I wanted to go ahead and do that. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'll wait for everyone to get in here. I see you guys in the chat now. What's good? What is good, guys? Ryan, Megan, Mama, Jordan. I see the talks have already started on what we should do. So again, it's going to be very simple here. I'm going to talk a little bit of the preview for the game this week, and then we're just going to hit the questions. As always, would appreciate with super chats. I'll try to get to those as much as I can. Best way to support the channel, and just try to subscribe and tell people to subscribe if you haven't. All right, I see. What's going on, guys? Jimmy, Mike, Andy, Zach, George, what up? What up, Larry? What's going on? Thank you so much for joining. So let's start with the preview for the game. I gave you guys, obviously, my preview video, but man, this is the game. All right, this is the game I'm predicting where the offense turns it around. I am so sick of depending on our defense to carry us in games. And I realize we have a rookie quarterback, we have a new coordinator, and it's only been 2 games. But like as a Bears fan, man, like even just the last like 6 years, 7 years since the Mitch Trubisky days, you're just like, it feels like it's been forever. All right, taking even all the way back to the Super Bowl when we went to the Super Bowl in 2006 with Rex Grossman, like, oh my goodness, can we get a competent offense? So I really hope it's this week. And the reason I think it's this week is because Indy just lost DeForest Buckner to IR. So that means Caleb's going to have time in the pocket, hopefully, to deliver. Hopefully our offensive line doesn't crumble. And yes, one of you guys pointed out here, our run game should get going. DeAndre Swift should be looking good. And the games coming up, even after that, man, like I told you, our schedule is pretty favorable here. And I don't care if people say, oh my God, the schedule is favorable, they're playing easy opponents. There's a bunch of teams right now that are 2-0 because of schedule, like the Chargers. Everybody's going crazy over Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. Folks, who have they played? I mean, come on. We're talking about the Panthers here who just benched Bryce Young. Like, let the Chargers play some good teams, and then we'll see what happens. All right, the Vikings, I know they beat the 49ers. That's awesome. No CMC, no Debo. Like, so to me, I don't care. That's the NFL. You can play who you want to play, and you just kind of go from there. You can only play who's on the schedule. But, yeah, I'm excited, man, because I think this team is going to turn it around very soon, and this is the game where I think it starts. And I can't wait. I can't wait for that. And you know, that's going to be something I'm looking forward to. All right, so let's go ahead and answer some questions from you guys. So I see a bunch here in the chat. Again, I'm going to try to hit as many as I can. If you really want your question answered, super chat, would appreciate those. All right, so here we go with a question. Bears fan 15, need some Roshan carries this week. Yes, please. Can we get Roshan Johnson involved? I have no idea why Shane Waldron thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and feels like Roshan Johnson's just not a good running back. Like, has he not seen the tape over the past couple of seasons? I get it. He's not the fastest guy, but sometimes you need power. Sometimes you need guys that can just run downhill. That's what Roshan Johnson does. I even thought Roshan would, before the Swift signing, be our RB1. And he just hasn't even gotten any carries. He's been inactive. Like, that's pathetic. I'm sorry. Shane Waldron, again, let's wait a little bit. But if Shane Waldron does not turn it around with his personnel decisions and his play calling, it's going to get ugly here. All right. It's going to get ugly. Ryan Janka, hard to win games when you have everyone 50 yards down the field and your QB has 4 guys in his face. Great point. So let's address both of those two things. Going back to Shane Waldron here, why is everything for the receivers, specifically Rome Odunze, all down the field? Like, why are you having him run these double moves, these long go routes where Caleb, is not going to have time in the pocket, and yet you're letting him run all the way out there and never getting the football because Caleb's never going to have time to throw. To be able to hit those guys, the pocket needs to hold up so that Caleb can hold the football and wait for Rome to get open, wait for the receivers to get open. Totally agree. Totally agree. And by the way, let me just say, this Houston Texans defense is going to make a lot of quarterbacks look bad. I just saw a tweet from, I believe it was Chase Daniel, who was saying that the first half that Caleb Williams played against the Houston Texans was the best half any rookie quarterback has played this season. So I know there's only been like 3 rookie quarterbacks, right? Caleb, Jaden Daniels, and then Bo Nix. But between those 3 guys, they've played, 6 halves of football. Caleb's first half against Houston was very good. All right. Again, compared to the other rookie quarterbacks. So to me, a lot of quarterbacks are going to look bad against this Houston Texans defense, folks. They're legit. D'Amico Ryans is incredible at his job, and this Texans defense with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, they're going to make life miserable for a lot of quarterbacks. So sometimes you just got to say no shame in that, honestly. It's Matt, dude. We have the Colts and the Rams without Kupp and Puka. Yeah, our schedule, folks, honestly, until we play the Packers in Week 11, is very favorable. Okay, I want to knock on wood here, but I'm gonna go through the schedule here real quick with you guys. All right, real quick. So you got the Colts, all right, at Indy this week. Then you got the Rams without Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Then you got the Panthers, right, who are a complete dumpster fire. Then you have the Jaguars, who their defense doesn't scare anybody, but that one is in London, by the way, so that's kind of like a home game for them, even though it's technically a home game for us. I digress. Week 7 is a bye week. Then you have the Commanders, the worst passing defense in football right now. Then you have the Cardinals, another Swiss cheese defense. They're not very good defensively. Then you have the Patriots, who are inept offensively. They have a good defense, but you should certainly be able to score and put up more points than Jacoby Brissett, assuming he starts at that point. And then now, Week 11, you got the Packers. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games that are very winnable. I'm not going to go out and say that the Bears are going to be, 8-1. Not going to say that, but it's very possible to be 6-2 or 5-3. I'd be very, very shocked if the Bears are just 500. All right. Alex Ryder, how can we establish the run again? What happened to our run game from last year? So this is clearly on the coaching staff, right? We have to go back to the coaching staff here with Shane Waldron, and we have to understand that Shane Waldron is the one who needs to be able to draw up the right plays. Against the Texans, he was running DeAndre Swift to the outside, and I'm not saying DeAndre Swift's not a good outside runner. He is, but you needed to have him run more downhill because the Texans were eating him up on the outside. There was no running lanes there. So you can't be giving these running backs random carries. As a running back, you need to be getting some rhythm, right? And you got to be able to feed them over and over again to have them catch a rhythm. So it was very sporadic, very random what he was doing. So I just feel like that's a part of why we haven't been able to establish the run. All right, so let's go to the next question here. Oscar Benitez is going to take some time for the team to start clicking and doing better plays. Agreed, 100%. Mama Miel K, I think I'm pronouncing that. I think Caleb figures out throws 2 touchdowns this week. Can we just get 1 passing touchdown? I'll take that at this point. Caleb, can we throw 1 passing touchdown? I know some bad luck has been in his way. Keenan Allen dropped 1 and Rome dropped another one, but would love to see that. Mike Media 1923, is Caleb our guy? What makes you think he is or isn't? I absolutely think Caleb's our guy. Caleb is our guy for sure. The reason I say that is because, one, the investment, right? We're talking about a number one overall pick. That's the highest the Bears have ever had drafted a quarterback at. Number two, the skill level, the talent, everything is there. It's just a matter of experience and putting it together, right? Reps, reps, reps. That's how you get better. And also with Caleb, when he gets time in the pocket, you can look at the numbers. When he gets time, he is delivering. I think he completes about 68% of his passes when he gets time. It's when he's under pressure, when he's under duress, when the pocket's collapsing in his face right away as soon as the ball snap, that's when he is not being effective. But again, he's going to get better with time. He is a rookie, so we'll see. Andy Spencer, Faiz, where's our slot receiver? Who is that guy? Good question. So to me, our slot receiver is Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen has been out the last game. We don't know if he's going to play this week, but you got Rome, who has been the kind of go route guy running these deep vertical routes, and then you've got DJ, who kind of does everything really. But really, it's Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's not going to beat anybody down the field. He doesn't have the speed. He's way more of a route runner, shiftiness. That's how he beats defenders. So he is the slot receiver, and he's out. And until he's back, I mean, put DJ in that role? I mean, I think Rome can play that role too. Or then there's a lot of DeAndre Carter that we've been playing. Why not Cole Kmet, right? Just as a security blanket. But it's Keenan Allen to answer your question. Michael Baird, give me that I formation and pound it up the middle to establish the run. Use them tight ends more when we open up play action pass. Thank you. All right, couple of things here. This is what we need to do against the Colts, right? Run the football. But not only that, you run the football down their throats, right, down the middle, and build play action off that. And if the offensive line is still not holding up in pass protection, use tight ends. Have them chip. That's what you need to do, Shane Waldron, okay? That's what you need to do. Roland 1821, do you think we should have gotten Clint Kubiak over Shane Waldron? The answer right now after 2 weeks is heck yeah, absolutely. Clint Kubiak with the Saints has been making that team look incredible. Like Derek Carr is the MVP through 2 weeks, and that's mainly because that offense has been incredible. So credit to Clint Kubiak, and yes, I would take Clint Kubiak right now over Shane Waldron. Jimmy Ravenau, Caleb Williams pressured on 82% of his dropbacks. Yeah, I believe it. Korean Cardboard, hello from Korea, Faiz. Hey, appreciate them. I can't believe I got people watching in Korea. That is awesome. I did not know people in Korea even watch NFL football, but thank you for that. And love to everybody out there. Robert Oliva, Faiz, you're the GOAT, man. Been listening to you for years daily. Love your content. Brother, keep it up. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You guys keep me going, honestly. Jack, Bears better be 7-2 or 6-3 by week 11 versus Green Bay. That being said, O-line play calling has to pick it up, make that happen. Easy schedule, though. 100% agree. I mean, I haven't made an official prediction in terms of what they would be by that time. Or I think I did. I can't remember. But I would say that the Bears should be 6-3 at least by week 11. It's just the Panthers you should beat. All right. The Commanders you should beat. The Rams you should beat with all their injuries right now. Jaguars, fine. That's a toss-up. Patriots, you should be able to beat them. That's 4 games right there. And then Cardinals, and then Colts are kind of the Cardinals, Colts, Jaguars are the toss-up. Monclar, I'd like to see rollouts and slant routes. I agree. We need to see that for sure. All right, you got a super chat here from 1SND. Was Shane really responsible for Geno's comeback? He was. Look, I will give Shane Waldron credit when he deserves it. What Shane Waldron did with Geno Smith that year when he had his Renaissance year was that he made the game really easy for Geno. And he did that. Again, I'm not going to say I'm a tape bro and I know everything from watching that season. But what I specifically do remember, one thing is he really got the tight ends involved and gave Geno a lot of easy throws. There was a lot of pre-snap motion, and you would have those like play action rollouts, and it's just a one read pass, right? Your tight end's running wide open down the right sideline, and you just deliver him the football. Boom, 15, 20-yard gain. Like, he just made the game a lot easier. Now, credit to Geno for also improving himself, but yeah, he was responsible, and that's part of the reason why we hired him. All right, I don't think we would have hired him if it wasn't for that Geno season. All right, Quantum TP. Faiz, are you worried about any bad habits that Caleb might develop? Not right now. Honestly speaking, I think Caleb is going to be fine. The one thing, if you ask me, that maybe I'm worried about is him getting a little too pressured, like in terms of like him pressuring himself to just force things. You never want a rookie quarterback to force things. I feel like that's what happened on these interceptions that he threw. He just kind of forced it, and he's like, I got to make a play. I got to make a play. I think for the most part, he is playing within the structure, and he's trying to stay within the pocket. I think when he starts to press, that's really when, things kind of go left. But hopefully, he doesn't develop any bad habits. All right. Simo, why didn't we hire Clint Kubiak? He looks awesome on the Saints. I agree. I totally agree, man. Right now, I'm telling you, like, I don't want to say it out loud, but Shane Waldron, through 2 games, I'm having buyer's remorse. It's been 2 games, but just saying. He's not Luke Getsy. I think he's still better than Luke Getsy, but yeah, I agree. All right. Let me see here. 1 SGT DYER. When is the last time we seen the Bears throw a quick slant to the center? We did have one last week, actually. It was to DJ Moore. Caleb dropped back, and then he waited a little bit, and DJ cleared out on the left side and, had a slant pass for a nice gain there. But I agree, man. Since the Justin Fields days, since the Mitch Trubisky days, we just don't throw slant passes. I don't know what it is. We just don't. Simo, do you agree or do you disagree on not making any O-line changes, especially not benching Nate Davis? I completely disagree with their decision. I would bench Nate Davis 1,000%. I would play Matt Pryor. I would play Kieran Amagaji. I would play some of our depth pieces right now. Benching Nate Davis should be the easiest choice right now for the Chicago Bears, but I'm not surprised that they aren't making any changes. Anthony Wicker, what's up, FST? If our O-line doesn't improve this week, what do you think Flus needs to do? Do you think he makes any drastic changes? So, good question. If our O-line does not improve and we are seeing Caleb under pressure against this Colts defense, which doesn't have its best defender on the D-line and DeForest Buckner, it might be time to panic. You know what? I'm going to say it. It's time to panic. All right? And I'm talking about if we're getting like a 7-sack game, maybe even a 5-sack game, it's time to panic. Nate Davis should get benched. I would move Tevin Jenkins over to the right guard spot. I'd probably put in, a Matt Pryor or Bill Murray on that left guard side, see what the rookie has. Or you go ahead and you look and see what is out there in the free agency pool. Like, Ryan Poles is a smart guy, man. If he sees them struggling this week, like I think what Ryan Poles is thinking right now is, all right, we played 2 really good D-lines. I know our line should be better. I should have done a better job, but he's probably sitting back and thinking, we play some teams that their defensive lines aren't very good. It's only 2 weeks. Let's give it a little bit more time. But yeah, I would be very shocked if they struggle this week. Korean Cardboard. Koreans don't watch much NFL, but I'm a Southsider that's been here 11 years. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you for watching. All right. Again, super chat, guys. I'll probably hang out here for another 5-10 minutes maybe, and let me know. Irv, in hindsight, should we have drafted Joe Alt or Fashanu? Good question, right? Obviously, we took Rome Odunze. Joe Alt was gone at that time, so we really couldn't have drafted him. If you're saying to trade up for Joe Alt, honestly, probably would have been a lot, but he is looking like an absolute stud at this point. Hindsight is 2020, man. Like right now, I'd probably say no. I think I'm still fine with Rome, but talk to me, ask me a question midseason. Maybe my answer changes. Anthony Wicker, fire Chris Morgan. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been talking about this, and I agree. The offensive line coach, Chris Morgan, right? He's been here 3 years. He survived these coaching cuts. I don't know how he has been here all this time, and the Bears' offensive line has not improved. Yeah, I agree. I think he should have been fired. To me, he definitely seems like he's the real problem because you got guys that leave the Bears that play better. Lucas Patrick, James Daniels, like guys that play better on other teams. So I have no idea how he survived the cuts. I know one thing for sure. I never want to hear about him being this offensive line, one of the best offensive line coaches. I definitely don't want that. Jonah Walk, Assalamu alaikum, Faiz Habibi. Why don't we throw Mercedes Lewis out there to block more? I think we have, honestly, might be mistaken. I think we have a little bit, but in general, we should be using the tight ends more for sure. I definitely agree. Philip P. Hey, Faiz, I hope all is well. Bear down. Yes, it is. Thank you so much, man. I'm blessed. Jordan Butts with the super chat. I appreciate you for $1.99. Why didn't Poles rebuild from the trenches out? Great question. This one I'm very perplexed by. Ryan Poles definitely messed up here. I think this is probably his biggest blunder. And the reason I say that is because he is a former offensive lineman, right? So what has he done since he has become the general manager of the Chicago Bears to address the offensive line? In no particular order, he drafted Darnell Wright. Tevin Jenkins, I believe, is from the previous regime. He drafted Braxton Jones. He signed Nate Davis, and then he signed Coleman Shelton. So out of those four, who's like the hit? Who's like, oh, yeah, that's a staple? Darnell Wright looks like he's going to be a staple, so I'll say fine. He's a solid pick. Braxton Jones, to me, he's a starter, borderline, but he's replaceable level. I don't think he's anything special. Nate Davis was a disaster, and Coleman Shelton has not looked that good. So overall, he hasn't done a good job. And as far as the why, I don't know. Maybe he thought that, it was just wrong evaluation on his part. Maybe he just thought that the guys that, he brought in were going to be better than they are. And he made that mistake with Chase Claypool. Like every GM has their misses, but the problem that I had with Ryan Poles on this is he needed to continue to take stabs until he got it right. Because this is literally the difference between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Like you literally flip it, all right? Because the Packers have virtually no, big name receivers, right? I know they have solid guys like Jaden Reed is good. I know Romeo Doubs is solid. Like Christian Watson's a good deep threat. But no big name receivers, right? But they have a solid offensive line, and so the receivers look better than they are. And of course, Jordan Love looks better behind that offensive line. You flip that to the Bears. We got big name receivers, but we have a terrible offensive line, and so Caleb Williams doesn't look good because he gets pressured, and the receivers can't get the ball because the pressure's there from the offensive line. So it's like I think at this point, I would rather have an elite offensive line and average receivers than an average offensive line and an elite receivers. Assuming I still got my quarterback, that isn't changing. An elite offensive line is so damn crucial. It is such a hack in today's NFL, right? That is so important. So yeah, man, I honestly feel like this is the part where Ryan Poles messed up the most. Chris Barber, we got to get that whiteboard back. LOL, I agree. We need to use heavy personnel. A lot of you guys have been requesting whiteboard, man. Look, I told you guys I moved out, right? So I need to go ahead. It took me a while to set up the studio, but I got to go ahead and set up the whiteboard as well. I miss doing those breakdowns too as well, my weekly predictions and whatnot. So I'm working on it. Okay. I promise you I'll bring the whiteboard back. George Barton, Faiz, you're the go, man. I look forward to every video dropping. Love the insight. Thank you so much, man. I'm trying to pump out as much content as possible. It's much harder, obviously, when you're married and you got a kid. It is tough for sure right now. But I'm trying my best. I got another video I'm probably going to drop tonight or tomorrow that I already recorded. So yeah, just spread the word, man. That's the best way you guys can support me. Omar Kadir, we missed out on Kubiak. Yes, we did, man. Clint Kubiak, that was a big miss. He looks really, really good with the Saints. I mean, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. If this continues, man, I'm going to be very, 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 very disappointed. All right. Let's see here. Got about 5 more minutes here, people, to squeeze in some questions here before I got to hop off. All right, Mama, with the question, who do you think ends up being Caleb's favorite target by the end of the season? The easy answer is DJ Moore. DJ Moore is just such a good receiver that, like, a quarterback, right, is just trusting DJ over anybody because if it's catchable, he's coming down with the ball. Like, we've already seen the two other receivers. I know it's early, but we've seen Keenan Allen drop a touchdown. We've seen Rome drop a touchdown. So you can't say Rome, because he's a rookie, but again, they could get on the same wavelength. But as far as like trust factor, right? If I'm a quarterback, if I'm Caleb Williams, who do I trust? I know if I throw it to that guy, 99% of the time, if it's a catchable ball, he's coming down with it. It's DJ Moore. It's DJ Moore. All right. Keenan Allen should also be another guy, but obviously health concerns and the fact that he dropped one. I mean, it's one drop. It's so unlike Keenan Allen, but yeah, that's what I would say. DJ Moore. Zach Solovino, I just hate how the media goes hard on Caleb for struggling as a rookie, but where's the same energy towards these veterans? The MVP looks mediocre. Yeah, I agree. Lamar and even Patrick Mahomes is struggling, right? 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But look, folks, those guys have a resume that can back them up. Lamar's got 2 MVPs. Pat Mahomes, we know he's the best quarterback in football. So when they struggle, unless it's for the entire season, people aren't going to say anything. Caleb Williams hasn't proven anything yet. It's because it's only been 2 games. To me, with Caleb, I think the important thing here to remember is the schedule matters so much because if the first 2 games for the Bears were the Commanders and the Panthers, what would people be thinking about Caleb Williams, right? But you went up against the Titans, probably have the best interior D-line, and you went up against the Texans, who have one of the best pass rushers. So it's like that changes everything, right? I'm telling you, a lot of quarterbacks are going to struggle against the Texans and even the Titans. A lot of quarterbacks. That defense is very solid. So that's really what it comes down to. I brought this up at the beginning of the live. Everybody's going crazy over the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. I completely disagree. I did not want Jim Harbaugh. I know Jim Harbaugh would have came in here and he would have tried to run the heck out of the football. But, folks, I just don't feel like that's sustainable. I really don't. Like, I'm not anti-Jim Harbaugh, but I'm just saying that, like, to me, in today's NFL, that style of football isn't, to me, winning a Super Bowl. I think it's going to win you games, but I don't think it's going to win you a Super Bowl. So they've played the Raiders and the Panthers. All right, the Raiders and the Panthers, and they've ran all over them. All right, Justin Herbert has turned into a game manager. I'm not saying Justin Herbert needs to go out there and throw 5,000 yards, but what I'm telling you is I probably would have wanted a little bit more balance. Give me Clint Kubiak all day over Jim Harbaugh, right? As a head coach, I agree. I'm just talking about an offensive coordinator because Flus has done a terrific job on the defense, right? I'm not a biggest fan of Matt Eberflus as a head coach, but as far as the defense, he's done a spectacular job. So we're just talking about the offense, and when we're talking about the offense, I'm sorry, but what Jim Harbaugh did against the Raiders and the Panthers doesn't impress me. Let's see him do it against the Chiefs. Let's see him do it against the Browns. Let's see him do it against the 49ers. Tough defenses. And if he does it, then I will be impressed. So to me, a lot of this is who have you played? All right? That's what it is. Let's see here. Carta 87 Blanket. They're not going to run up the middle. Waldron will abandon the run. Well, Shane Waldron will start getting, chance that he doesn't want in Chicago if he does not try to run the football against a team that just gave up 159 and 151 yards to Joe Mixon and Josh Jacobs. Overall, folks, I'm really, really optimistic that this week we get it done. More importantly, look, the win is important. I totally agree. But this week, I just want to be able to get Caleb going and this offense going. So even if we somehow lose, like what I'm basically trying to tell you is I don't want to win this game with just the defense. and the offense struggling again. I want to get some answers because we know the season is all about Caleb. We know the season is all about his development. We know this season is a success if Caleb proves to be a franchise quarterback. So it's more important for Caleb and the offense to play better than it is necessarily for us to get these wins. We're not winning the Super Bowl this year. Look, I'm not saying I don't want to win. I'm just saying we know what's at stake here in terms of what's more important. So I really feel like this is the week we go ahead and get the offense going for all the reasons I mentioned. So let's hope that happens. I appreciate you guys. I got to head on out of here, but I am going to try to do more lives. Hit me up, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys later.